In this video, I'm going to share 5 essential tips you need to know for growing a lush, beautiful lawn right here in Thailand, or in any tropical location. Hi, I'm Kevin LJ. I've been living in northern Thailand for over 20 years, and about 6 years ago, we put this lawn down. It wasn't an easy task, it was pretty hard work because we did it in April. It's the hottest, driest month in the north of Thailand. But we had to do it. We run a homestay, we were just getting started, and we wanted to make the place look as nice as we possibly could as soon as we could. And initially, yeah, it was really hard work, but we're very, very happy with the results. So in this video, I want to share with you some essential tips that will help you start a new lawn in Thailand or anywhere in a tropical climate. In Thailand, there's 2 main types of grass that are available. This is the Malay grass, and there's also a Japanese grass. The Malay grass that we've put down is a creeping grass, and the Japanese grass tends to be a finer leaf grass, and it's a clumping grass. So this Malay grass is creeping, it's got a broader leaf, and it really thrives in the shade. We've got a lot of shade trees here now, but initially there were no trees. These trees are all younger than the lawn. And even though we'd been given advice that the Malay grass doesn't grow particularly well in the bright, full sunshine, we had no problems with it being in the full sunshine so long as we kept it well watered. And the Japanese grass is said to grow better and cope better with full sun. So there's a couple of different things there to consider. Do you want a clumping grass or a running grass? And where is your lawn going to be? Is it predominantly in full sun, or is it going to enjoy some shade? And one thing I have noticed with this grass that we put it down the side of our house behind the kitchen there are a lot of trees there. It hardly gets any sun there at all directly, and now there's no lawn. We need to put a path in there because it's too shaded. The grass just doesn't grow. So the second tip is to prepare your soil, and this is something that we really didn't have much time to do. And this area here right in front of our home was an area that when the builders were finished with whatever they were doing, they just tossed the trash out onto this area. So we'd had to talk to our contractor and said, hey, I want this cleaned up. This is going to be our lawn. It's essential to have it as clear as possible. But as you can imagine, there was still a reasonable amount of debris on this area, in this area, and so I had to rake it and clear as much of it as possible, but the soil was rubbish. It was just grotty clay. And as you can see, it's really not been a big problem at all for the lawn. When we put the lawn down, we did add some compost to it. We did initially give it some chemical fertilizer, which we very, very rarely do here at all. And we've also given it some of our photosynthetic bacteria plant food, and it really, really loves that. The other key thing that's related to this is the style of grass. Are you going to sow seed, or are you going to put sod down? We have actually done both these things. This grass here was sod. We bought a truckload of sod, we measured the area, we bought enough to cover it, and we put it down. So key thing here is that it covered the bare soil, and it grew much more quickly than it would have done from seed. And this was key for us. Like I said, we were starting a homestay and we wanted the place as presentable as possible, as quickly as possible. A number of years later, maybe 3 or 4 years after we put this down, we planted some grass seed down at the back of our section. My wife ordered the same grass, the Malay seed, but eventually when it did start to grow and it was difficult to get growing, we discovered that it wasn't actually Malay grass, it was the Japanese varieties. So when you're ordering seed, you just don't know what you're getting, but when you're buying sod, you know exactly what you're getting because you can see it. So we didn't have much joy at all planting the seed down in the back area. The soil down there was pretty terrible as it was up here, so there was not a lot of difference there. But the seed just didn't really germinate very well. It was patchy and uneven, and now it's just a bit of a jungle down there. It's overgrown, and we've started to plant some trees and some other plants down there, and I'm not actually interested in having a lawn down there. I'd rather really develop the whole area into a food forest, which is what we're doing. I'm not a huge fan of a lawn, but we certainly need it in the front of our home here, and our guests love it. But further down in the section, I am aiming to have less lawn rather than more lawn, because then I don't have to mow it so much. And when we first put this lawn down, as I said, it was April. It's the hottest, driest month here, so we watered it well. We were watering it 3 times a day initially, just to keep it really wet. And it takes a lot of water, but we've got good access to water here even in the dry season, so that was no problem. Watering a lawn when you put the sod down is really essential. I watered the earth before I put the sod down, and then I tamped it down a lot. It was really, really hard work, but with good watering and good tamping, the roots took. The sod comes with a very minimal amount of soil on it, so keeping it watered and keeping it fed is really important. So we would give it compost, we would give it our photosynthetic bacteria plant food, and I think initially just 1 dose or 2 doses of a chemical lawn fertilizer. And so it really is pretty easy care, this Malay grass. The key thing though, particularly before the trees grew, when it was in full sunshine, was keeping it watered well during the dry season. And we do this either by hand or just by popping a sprinkler out on the lawn for half an hour or so each day. And then of course, once it's growing, you've got to mow it. And this is one of the reasons that I'm trying to keep the amount of lawn we have to a minimum, because it's fairly hard work. It does produce good green matter for my compost, which I do like, but I probably don't mow it as frequently as I should. I don't mind a bit of a wild looking lawn. I'm not someone that's into a real manicured lawn at all, but for really good care of a lawn to keep it healthy, it's best to cut it more frequently rather than let it grow longer and then knock it back hard, because then you're knocking it back closer to the roots and it's going to struggle to photosynthesize and bring life back into the leaves again. There's a quick 5 tips for putting down lawn in Thailand. I would say my number 1 tip would be to buy sod rather than to buy seed. It's the surest way that you're going to get a good lawn growing as quickly as possible. It will take a bit more effort, but you can always employ 1 or 2 folk locally to help you. And so this is just one of the things that we enjoy about living here at Suansok Homestay. We got variety of other grasses on the property, ranging from rice to bamboo. But if you'd like to know more about one of the other special grasses that we grow here that is actually incredibly good if you do have clay soils, check out this video here where I explain to you the benefits of Thailand's king's grass. Thanks very much for watching.